So you're telling me this is how the girls turn up? Then I'ma stick with the girls.
You better talk nice to me. I'm in your head, I invest. That's a short-term fee. Got it locked, I'm the best. Well, at least that's what I think.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to The Girls Social. We are your hosts. I am Taylor Kessler.
And I'm Sydney McPhail.
Guys, we crushed the podcast last week, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
I think everybody loved it. You guys loved listening to us talk to Heidi.
I loved that it was so casual.
Yeah, because it was just us having a conversation with our friends, and it was like, that's literally how we have conversations.
Yeah.
All the time.
We went to dinner after and nothing shifted.
Nothing shifted. We just continuously talked and ate.
I keep all week thinking about you talking about your parents' house.
Oh, yeah, I know. It's gotten better. It's good. They're good now. They got it cleaned out. No more. So I didn't talk about it on the last time on the podcast, but my parents have a chimney, and they live in an area where there's golf course, so there's wildlife, ducks, everything. And they had something fall into their chimney. They couldn't get it out. So you guys can do the rest of the math there. But I felt really, really bad for them. So that's why we hosted Easter.
Did they figure out what it was?
Apparently it was completely disintegrated, which is disgusting.
Disgusting.
I'm like, I'm not going in there. Max was like, I'm going to go in there. And I was like, no, you sicko.
I just, the smell.
I feel so bad for them. They couldn't be in their living room, or even downstairs area for almost a month.
Yeah, see, and then it's you're not even home in your own home.
Yeah, no. It sucked for them. I felt so bad. How have you been?
I've been good. I've been so freaking busy, and I don't know, today was a nice, I was kind of easing into the weekend.
Oh,
I saw your story on the way here, slam my laptop shut. I was like, yes.
I was like, I am slamming. After I did my taxes today.
Not a good time.
Well, I partially finished. I'll finish tomorrow. Yeah, not a good time. Not a good time to be alive, but it's okay. I planned for this. I did plan for this, so I knew going in what it was going to be like.
Well, do you get estimates? Oh no, you do, because you do your own, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's a bummer.
I like math. I like numbers, so I just.
Oh, see, I don't. I want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me. It's not that bad. It's not bad at all.
I'm just traumatized. Taxes. My first year owing, I was like. I was like, I did not expect this.
It's like your own boss, they said. It's going to be fun, they said.
Ryan was like, you're shocked?
You're shocked about this? No, it wasn't bad. Yeah, that was the only thing that was a bummer on my Friday because it was a beautiful day.
And you're doing taxes.
I'm doing taxes inside. But it's okay. It wasn't that bad. It was not bad at all.
So we're just going to say that's your low right off the bat.
That was my low. I know my mom was like, are you going to mention your taxes? And I was like, no, probably not. I just don't want to get into that financial talk with people. But yeah, here we are talking about my taxes. That was my low. I wouldn't even say that was my low. I would say my low was definitely, we're just hopping into this, guys. I'm sorry. Rolo getting sick. So we're watching our friend David and Julia's. If you guys don't know, they're Max and I's one of our closest group of friends. They are on vacation and we're watching their dog Rolo and Bo. Rolo's this sweet, silly, goofy little. He is not little. Why I say that?
Sweet big boy.
Sweet big boy, golden doodle. So he's like a doodle-like dude, and he started throwing up blood, tons.
Oh no.
And tons. I need to show you the photo. And I I was sitting on the couch. I had just gotten home from Atlanta. I got in, it was 7:30 at night. And so I'm sitting on the couch. We just ordered dinner because I was I don't feel like cooking right now. I'm exhausted. I've been traveling and I just don't want to do that. Sitting on the couch, we just fed the dogs and I hear and I was like,
no.
And I look over, Rolo throws up on our carpet in our living room. And I was like, oh no. And I was like, okay. So we took Rolo off the carpet. And this is before, there was no blood there. Then he was on the floor, the wood floors. And I'm getting stuff to clean up the throw up. And he starts throwing up again. And it's just blood. And then he throws up another time. And it's just a ton of blood. And I was like,
well, and that's terrifying because he's not your dog.
He's
so
not our dog.
Shit.
And I know David and Julia love Rolo like we love Dude. And so I was like, I was freaking out. And I was like, I don't want to tell them this is going to ruin their vacation. So I had to call them and tell them. So we rushed him to the emergency vet. And we were there till well over midnight.
So you didn't even get to have your dinner.
I didn't have my dinner. And then I was just exhausted.
Did they know what was wrong?
So I think they said it was an ulcer.
Poor baby.
Which makes sense because like he's just traveled from Spain back to Texas, and I'm sure
well,
like,
and then like
the
them
parents
leaving.
leaving,
Yeah.
I could only imagine because I imagine how that would be on dude, and it has to be similar. But yeah, that was my low. I was like, I was once super stressed about Rolo because I love Rolo and I like don't want anything wrong with him. And I was like, oh my God, like his parents aren't here. And then I
Like,
obviously
and he's sick, yeah.
Yeah, and then I was obviously exhausted after that.
Yeah, because anytime you come home from traveling, you're just like, I want to veg out. Like, I
Yeah.
just literally want to rot on the couch.
Yeah, well, because Monday I woke up at 4:00 and then got on a plane and then worked all day. Didn't finish till like 9:30 at night. Went to bed at like 11. Then I get up the next day at 6. Do it all over again. Don't go to bed till like 10:30, 11. Then same thing. And then I got home and then. So
Yeah.
it's just been a long week.
Yeah.
I'm like,
you need the weekend.
but this weekend I'm busy too. So it's like there's no break for me this week and there's no break for me next week because next week is going to be one of the most busiest weeks of this month, I think.
What do you have going on?
Next week. So Monday I have to go drop something off for a pop-up that we're doing with Shaftel Diamonds and Reagan Bregman's line. Then Tuesday I have a meeting in the morning. Then I have to plan and get ready for an event that we have that day. Then Wednesday I'm flying to Dallas, shooting all day in Dallas, flying back that night. Thursday I have a huge event at the Houstonian for Shaftel Diamonds with Modern Luxury. I'm setting up the entire like event area and like decorating it. And then I have like stuff that entire weekend too. And I'm just like,
Sending you good vibes and love.
I'm going to like need all the energy drinks. I'm going to cry.
Like, somebody sedate me.
Somebody take me out, please. No, I love my life. I'm super excited. And I enjoy this. Like I enjoy like having so much to do and I want to keep it up. I was talking to Heidi. I had one of her friends wants somebody to help with social media. And so I'm probably taking on another client.
That's exciting,
Which
though.
is so exciting. So that's kind of like my high. I think my high this week would just be like being fulfilled again and like everything I'm doing with work. Like, yes, I'm so exhausted from everything, but I'm so fulfilled by it as well.
I prefer that. Like, I would rather be super busy because then on weeks where I don't have a lot going on,
I feel like
I'm immediately spiraling and like I'm failing. My business is failing. I hate myself. Like,
I have big imposter syndrome where I'm like, I'm not doing anything. I'm not successful. I'm not doing as much as I need to be doing. I should be doing more. Like, what's going on with me? Like, I'm losing my mind because I'm like, I'm gonna go broke because I'm not doing anything. I'm like, no, I'm not going broke because I'm not doing anything. I'm like, it's actually I need to take this time to like actually enjoy these like lower moments where I'm not doing something so I can recharge for when I have these hectic weeks. I think April's just gonna be a crazy month for me.
I just feel like this time of year, and then like you have a brief period in summer that kind of slows down, and then it's the holidays.
Yeah,
That's literally every single year.
it's just not slowing down. It's not slowing down at all for me. And then I just like her wedding planner was like, oh, like have you done this and this? And I was like, honey, I got to pay the bills first. I got to work and then I'll come back to that.
Yeah.
And she's like, have you gotten any addresses? And I was like, no. And she's like, have you done your save the dates? No. Have you done your website? Nope. She's like, how's the address looking? No, don't have one.
You're doing great. You're thriving. But what she does have is a million wedding dresses. She may not have the dates or the addresses.
But my entire wardrobe is
My
set.
God, she's rolling in 6 dresses. She's going to be stunned. No, in all seriousness. Like
In all
you-
seriousness, no, I am rolling in 6 dresses. No, in all seriousness, it's going to be okay. I'll be fine. Let's hear about your week. Oh, man.
I feel like this week, sorry guys, I was dying when I got here. I was like, I need an energy drink.
She's like, give me a battery, please.
I don't, it was a great week. I just don't, it wasn't super eventful in like, I worked. Like it was that kind.
But that's good though.
Yeah. And that's the thing is like, I've been feeling super fulfilled in my work. And it's one of like, I feel like there's like a million things going on. But when I think about it, because on the way over here, I was like, okay, like highs and lows. And I was like, my life is so boring.
It's not boring.
Oh, I know a high. It has absolutely nothing to do with me, but I just love. Chance and Haley, Ryan's friend.
Oh,
Haley,
yeah.
They got engaged last night. So
Congrats.
literally last night, Ryan was like, I'm sitting on the couch and it was like, we're about to go to bed. And he goes, oh yeah, Chance is proposing to Haley tonight. And I was like, oh yeah?
You're like, oh, did you just forget to remind me?
I was like, what do you mean? Like I knew you were getting engaged for like a month.
how I didn't know that you knew.
But I did know that he had the ring because I had seen the ring. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Gorgeous. It's an oval. But when he's had the ring for a while, and I was like, well, when's he going to propose? And Ryan was like, I don't know. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So they FaceTimed us. It was super fun.
That's
like, super happy for them.
Did they know when they want to get married yet? I don't know why I'm asking. I don't know why I'm asking that, because that was my least favorite question that people asked me when I got engaged.
I honestly have no idea. She was not expecting it at all. Like,
I love that.
They just went to, there's a place in Columbus called Hyde Park. It's just like
I've heard of
Steak
it.
48. Yeah, it's like a nice high-end steakhouse. And so they went, and she told the whole story because she's like, I just thought we were going on a date night. They go there all the time.
You're like on a random Wednesday, really?
But no, but that's very much so their vibe.
But that's how Max was. It was a random Tuesday.
And so and also I don't know that they had a ton of conversations about marriage, but I knew behind the scenes that he had already bought the ring. And so they walk up and she said there were rose petals on the table. It was just super cute. And she's telling the story. And I was like, I'm so happy for
I
them.
love love.
I literally all night last night was like, I love love. I'm just so happy for them.
I'm just so excited for you to get engaged.
Me too.
You have no idea.
Ryan kept joking about
he says didn't he say he was gonna do it in the morning? He's just gonna wake you up one day.
Because Ryan it'll just be us. He's not gonna do he's like, I just want it to be us. But he jokes all the time I'm not gonna wait for you to be all done up and cute and take you out. He's like, no, I'm gonna 3 a.m. turn the lights on, and when you wake up and you're like, what's going on? I'm gonna bust a ring out. I will kill you. Please don't do that. Honestly, I'll say yes. But I was like, please don't do that. But he did tell me way back when Chance bought that ring, he was like, we've joked about doing it together, like a double proposal. So last night he was like, yeah, Chance is proposing. And I was like, oh God.
You're like,
what do you mean? But so that's definitely my high.
oh, so fun though. That's so exciting.
I love that stuff. And my low, I don't know, I'm PMSing. That's
Yeah, I just got off today's my last day.
not a good time.
When did you start?
No, I haven't started yet. I think in the next couple of days. I was looking at my flow app because I was like, body image was hitting hard.
Oh.
I said it last episode, I just am kind of off. Ryan all week was like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I'm good. I'm a little off, a little goofy.
Yeah.
And I looked at my flow app and I was like,
This makes a lot of sense.
Yes.
Yeah, no, mine hit me at 5 a.m. when I was up getting ready to go to the airport. And I was like,
Nothing better than
getting on the flight and just cramping, being in pain. I was like, this is so great for me.
I'm thriving.
I love this. I love this for me. Yeah, no.
Also a low, I'm just going to say, I need my masseters done. I was telling my sister, next time I come to Ohio, I'm getting my masseters done because, first of all, my jaw hurts. But I noticed, especially in the last episode, I don't know if it was the angle, my different angle. My face is so puffy.
Oh, my angle, I think it was just the way the camera was, because my angle, I looked like
No, you looked great. What do you mean? I literally opened it and we started watching.
He's at the beginning of the video.
Could you?
Yeah, I was pissed. I was like, cut that. And he's like, I can't. I was like, God damn it.
You're like, can you Photoshop a video?
You can see my little undie line. And that's because my pants were too big. But no, I looked a little wide.
Okay.
Wider than usual.
I was like,
that's not me. I know me, and that's not me.
Well, and all week.
Who is she?
I'm like, I'm going on a strict diet, and Ryan was like, stop.
Oh, that's so I got measured when I was, because I'm getting those extra dresses. Woo. And they measured me, and she's like, oh, it says you're 37 around. And I was like, or she said 38. And I was like, no, that's not right. I was like, and she's like, no, it says 38. And I was like, no, there's no way.
Do it again.
Because I was like, I know my measurements because I take them so often. And I was stressing out because I knew I had to try on that wedding dress this week. And I was like, when they measured me for that, I was 35 around. And I was there's no way that I'm 3 inches bigger now than I was when I got that dress. I mean, I was really skinny when I got the first dress.
You're really skinny now. And I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you. But so I was freaking out when she said that, but that's what she wrote down. And I was like, you know what, whatever. If it's too big, I'll have to take it in. So I went to go try on the wedding dress today. Not the official ceremony one, but the other one that I bought originally.
That came in last week?
Last week. Yeah, I went and tried it on today. Huge. Way too big. It's massive. and it's a size 2. And I was like, what am I going to do? And I was
You have time.
No, I'm going to get everything altered. But I was like, this was measured for a size 35 in my hips.
And they're saying that
They're saying I was a 38. I was like, there is no way that I'm a 38. And even the guy that I was like talking to this about, my mom was like, I'm really nervous about it, that I'm a 38 because like that she made it a 38. I was like, because that's going to be huge on me. If I'm a 30, like if that was made for a 35 and it was too big for me.
Mm-hmm. I feel like sizing is so inconsistent though.
No, it is, but she's making everything to size for me, like custom. It's a custom outfit, like it's a custom piece.
Right.
And so we're going to pray to God. I'm going to have to get everything altered.
I was going to say, since it's custom, can you still get it altered?
Yeah, I'm just going to have everything altered. I'll take it to my alterations place. But I was freaking out this week because I was like, I'm huge. I'm not going to fit into this dress that I just spent so much money on for my wedding. And I'm stressing because I've watched too many Say Yes to the Dresses where they're like, sorry, we measured you for this. Like, you've gained weight. Like, there's nothing we can do about that. And I was freaking
spiraling.
I was spiraling. I was stressed about it this morning driving to the dress salon. I was like, there's no way. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't fit over my butt. Like, I'm going to cry.
No, but here's the thing, Taylor. Like, you've been grinding.
Yeah. I mean, I've been two-a-daying it.
Taylor.
Don't yell at me about it. Max wants me to ask you, as like a person that's like a personal trainer, he wanted me to ask Heidi this too. What amount of calories should I be eating?
I would have to do, like, I do calculations based on like your
Okay, can I
activity
tell
levels.
you what can I tell you what I think in my head is the amount of calories I'm supposed to be eating?
Oh my God, I'm stressed.
You're gonna punch me in the face.
I'm going to absolutely.
Because Max
but
is
the
like,
thing
you've lost your mind, Taylor. There's no way that you should be eating that much money, eating that much calories, or like that little of calories. What do you think it is?
I'm gonna guess 1,200.
It's around 1,200 to 1,500.
Okay. Like 1,200 is way too low. That's like a toddler. Like a toddler's calorie needs is 1,200.
That's like what my trainers, when I did pageants, would tell me I needed to eat.
And that's the thing. Like, I like to be really careful about this because obviously I coach women, and that's super common. They're like, 1,200 calories, and then I tell them like, no, you need to be eating more than that.
So how many should I be eating?
I mean, it would just. I have like an equation that I do where it's like I like write down your height and like how active you are. And
I'm 5'9".
Yeah, so I can tell you. But the other thing is with your metabolism, like the calculation only is going to take you so far because it's a math equation. So it's like and I hate math, but like what I always tell my clients this too is like whenever they sign on, I tell them like this is what your estimated like maintenance calories would be. Like this is what you would need to eat to stay exactly where you are. Obviously, that's not the goal, but we also like to see like where you currently are. So like if your body is used to you eating 1,200 calories a day, 1,000 calories a day, and you automatically start eating more, 2,000, 1,800, like you're gonna gain weight because your body was primed and used to eating 1,200 calories.
Well, I started eating more when Max yelled at me about it. He didn't yell at me, guys, but he like was like concerned.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not. Do you feel like it's sustainable, or are you hungry?
It's sustainable to the fact that I've done it since I was 17 years old.
You're used to it. Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and like demonize because we've all been there.
Yeah.
And I also I think that the amount of misinformation around like what we should be eating. So it's obviously not your fault. And in the pageant world, I can't imagine. But what was I going to say? Oh, well, like for example, I was thinking about this because I spiraled this past week. I'm PMSing. I was like, my face is bloated. Like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, no, we're spiraling.
And I went back into my Fitness Pal because you can look at all your past food logs. And like last year in the summertime, I didn't have an appetite. Like, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if I was depressed or what, but I didn't have an appetite. And I was eating like 1,000 calories. There were some days that were like 700. And I was like, I remember feeling full. Yeah. But like that's not good.
No. And I'm also the type of person, like this is something that like with Miss USA, I had to put on extra weight because when I get stressed or I have anxiety, I will drop 10 pounds in a week. Like I will lose weight so rapidly. And it's insane because I guess like my metabolism spikes. I won't be eating as much. Like I just like when I am stressed and I'm like, obviously I have a lot going on right now, so I am stressed. Yeah. But like, I don't feel, I haven't lost any weight, but like, so like when I'm stressed, like I drop weight very quickly, rapidly. And so like, But you don't want to deal with my stress. Like the stress that I go through is like not I feel like it's
Not healthy.
no, it's not normal.
Yeah.
Definitely not normal.
Well,
I need to go to therapy.
another thing I
need to go
almost
back.
put that in the notes.
It's been a while, and I know it because I am like, not that I'm like depressed or I have anything. I'm not depressed right now. I have a great life. I'm very thankful and blessed for the life that I have and what I've been given. But I found myself slipping back into the place that I was when I had my eating disorder.
First of all, the fact that you are even talking about that and like saying it out loud is really like powerful.
Yeah. I've noticed it a lot this week too. I'm gonna start crying thinking about it. But like I just like I feel it. Like I feel it coming back and I'm just like, oh shoot, like that's not okay.
But the fact that you see it is a really big deal.
Yeah.
And I know that it's really easy. Like I myself, so like literally looking back at my fitness pal, I was like, okay, well if I just start eating, I'm like, no, I'm not eating 700 calories a day. That's stupid.
No. Yeah.
But it's really easy. And I think the pressures that are put on us as women and like you as a model, like it's there.
Yeah.
So it's easy to be like, well, I'm just going to do this. But I want you to think about like your wedding and your bachelorette trip. Like I know you had said like I want to wait to like diet because I don't want to burn out.
Yeah.
But if you're eating 1,200 calories right now, like where is there to go?
And that's what I asked Max because I was like talking to Max. I was like, oh, I want to lose like 10 pounds before the wedding. And he's like, where?
Yeah,
and he's like, where is that gonna go? And I guess it's just more like in my mind, I don't want to like lose weight. I just need a tone. Is like really what it is. And I know that, but I was like talking to him and he's like, well, let's look at what you're eating. And I was like, to be honest, recently, like in the mornings, like we have our greens and I have water with lemon in the morning. And like, that's what I drink throughout the day. And then I'll sometimes have an energy drink, sometimes have a coffee if I want that. And then maybe a protein bar in the afternoon. And then I have my dinner.
And you just don't have an appetite. Mm-mm. Well,
I mean, there's times I get so hungry. It's like, insatiable. Like I just like I just want to keep eating. But then there's times where I'm like normally like I'm just like I think it's because I'm so busy that I don't think about eating. And that's how I was with pageants is like I'm so busy that I don't have time to think about food.
Well, and even just having little snacking. And the thing is like even if you start eating more, it can be like fruits and vegetables and protein. Like that doesn't necessarily mean you have to like go crazy and eat all the carbs and like all the things.
Yeah.
But it also is going to take your body time.
Yeah.
So like not to talk about my coaching again, but like I always tell my clients like the first week or two that I'm coaching someone, I just tell them to track everything they're eating.
Yeah.
Like, don't worry about hitting a number. I just want to see where everything falls and what your preferences are. Yeah. And then once we kind of like, first of all, then you're building the habit of tracking. So you know what you're eating. And consistency does wonders. It's not about dropping calories or making changes. It's really just like being consistent, having something consistent for your body. But then from there, you can like make tweaks where you need to. And it's not so like crazy. You're not like, oh my gosh, like I have to go from eating 1,500 calories to a crazy amount. And 1,500 still isn't, I mean, it's low. Yeah. But it's a lot better than 1,200. And everybody I tell like, there's nothing to be ashamed of.
No. I mean, I can pretty much calculate it. So like my energy drink's like what? How much is in an Alani?
Calorie wise?
Yeah, like
5, it's 15. Negligible, yeah.
15 calories. And I can tell you like my barbell protein bar is like 200. And then my dinner is like 700. And then I eat my Anabar at night.
The Anabar helps.
Yeah. You're like, the Anabar is great.
I'm just
keep throwing more Anabars in there.
Because I'm not good at mentally calculating numbers.
So that's 7 to, that's 900. Then the Anabar is like what, 220?
Depending on the Anabar.
Death by peanut butter.
Yeah.
It's 220. The fact that I like know this off the top of my head is really sad.
I don't think knowing what you're eating mentally, being able to mentally calculate doesn't necessarily mean that you like that's negative. I think it's a tool that we all use, but it depends how you're using it, I think. But
every time I look at a meal, I can tell you like the calories in it. I'm like, oh, that's how many calories. That's really bad. I'm like, oh, I'm noticing that like, especially when I was in Atlanta and I was around a lot of my friends that are models and they were all so tiny. And I'm like, I also deal with body dysmorphia, which is a huge thing that I have. I'm like, this is like not the topics we were supposed to be talking about.
No, but
week.
I like it. I do. I'm proud of you for talking about it.
Thanks.
I really am.
But like seeing like all my model friends, and I'm like, oh, I'm not as skinny as them. I'm not as tiny as them. And I have to remember these girls are younger than me too. They're like 22. Yeah, 23.
But Tay, I don't like, and I know obviously body dysmorphia is a crazy thing, but like you are tiny.
I don't see it though.
Because I struggle with the same thing. I had it. So on Wednesday, I went to Pilates and Victoria was there.
And she's the smallest human
And
in the world.
she's so tiny. And she's like, do you want to take a picture? And I was like, yeah, oh my gosh, yeah. And I was
I
feeling
know
good.
y'all looked so cute. I was so upset
I
missed.
literally saw, she sent them to me and was like, here's all our pictures and videos. And then she posted one. And I was like, I'm not reposting that. That is like, I look disgusting. I look massive. And I was like, no, she's
You
just
looked so strong
I'm like,
and good.
she's a tiny human.
She's so small. My favorite. I love shooting with Victoria. I love working. She's one of my great friends. But like when I have to take pictures next to her, I'm like, guys,
Her little waist. Like I was like, I don't.
her body is insane.
Yeah,
She's
the like sweetest.
Oh, I know. She has the best body, the best personality. Like she's just truthfully blessed. She's so great. I love her. She deserves all the love in the world. She's literally like my favorite person to hug. My favorite. Like she's just so kind.
Well, and like I don't know, because like obviously, I've hung out with her like 2 times, and I walked in and she was like, "Oh my god, like come over here," and I was like, because Ryan was like, "You're going alone," and I was like, Taylor's
I went this morning.
I know. Well, I was like, Taylor's out of town, and I'd bought two, but they expired.
Oh,
So because when I went to book, it said expires like the 11th, so I had to use by Thursday, and I was like, that's a bummer. So I was like, I'm just gonna go alone, and Ryan was like, you'll be fine.
how was the body fusion class? I heard it was hard.
Horrible in the best way.
Nicole's like, when am I gonna get you in a body fusion class? I'm like, Nicole, I don't know if I'm ready to die yet.
Oh, it humbled. My hamstrings are so sore.
Oh, everything's sore. I went this morning because
Yeah.
I bought the one, and I was like, oh, I forgot that I booked this. I booked it last week to buy like more credits, and I forgot that I booked it, and I was like, oh shoot, now I have to go.
And you have to, yeah.
I was like, I have to go to this class.
I thought about going.
There's
again,
only
but
2
I'm
people.
so
There's only
sore.
2 people in the class today, so it was just me, Nicole, and then the other person.
Well, and if you're doing eating 1,200 calories and doing 2 a day is like, hey, no
I
wonder
haven't-
your cortisol's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I haven't really been like crushing 2 days. I mean, I worked out 3 times this week, but that's just because I had a crazy week. But I walked a lot this week because so I was at Market, which is like where stores go to buy all their dresses for
Oh, that's fun.
like their next upcoming seasons. We had to buy for fall of 2024. So that's what I was doing. And I like go with I used to model for Sherry all the time. So I had modeled for Sherry since I was 16, and I did that. And then this time I was like a buyer, so I was going to help one of the people that I'm really good friends with go pick out their clothes. And we had some appointments where I helped design couture for like pageant girls and whatnot, things like that. And so you are just walking around looking at things 24/7. So you're constantly walking. So I didn't have my Apple Watch on. I can't imagine how many steps I got in, but I didn't really work out this week. So I haven't really been crushing 2 a days, but
Well, but you were still active.
yeah. But I like it though, because like Pilates is like a good mental place for me. I feel like it really does start my day off on like a good foot. And then like, I feel like my workout at night is like a good, like as much as Pilates is like a good burn and like mental thing for me, like my actual workout is like, I feel like a place where it's like I get my stress out, and it's like a heavyweight workout as well.
So you're not doing 2 a days like lifts. You're doing.
I'm doing Pilates and then a workout after.
Okay. I take back what I said earlier.
Okay.
Because I was like,
I mean, there's going to be a point where I'm going to be crushing it.
Well, some people break up their cardio and their lifts, and it's like kind of the same.
Yeah.
You just have to allow how many rest days do you take?
This week I took
Well,
3.
not this week.
Not this week. Normally 1.
Okay.
Maybe 1 to
2,
2.
yeah.
Yeah. Depending on the day. Like if I don't feel like working out, I'm not going to.
I'll help you.
Thanks.
I don't want to push myself on you,
No, I know.
but you look. Tay, you look amazing.
Thanks.
Because I literally, it's so weird that you brought that up, because I was really struggling with it this week. Like I was like, I just don't I need to lose weight, and Ryan was like it got to the point where he was like, I'm not entertaining this. We're done. We're not having this conversation.
Max hasn't done that to me yet, but y'all have also been together for.
Well, Ryan prefers me.
Yeah.
thicker.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I want to lose a little bit of weight, and he's like, you're still smaller than you were like in 2021. So
Yeah.
he's like, to me, like you could.
I mean,
stand
you're
to put on weight.
shredded. I always say I want to look like Sydney. Sydney's arms and abs are ridiculous.
My arms right
your
now
butt.
are my insecurity.
Mine too.
I'm like, I've always carried all of my weight, and it's the last place I lose weight.
I've never carried it in my arms, and all of a sudden,
Ma'am?
No. There's photos. I have photos where I'm like, and even in the video, our last podcast, I was like, my arms look big.
I want you guys to, I hope that this
Okay.
is relatable and that people aren't like, oh my God, you're like
Going
spreading
crazy.
toxic.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to spread anything toxic. Like, this is truly like, I know I have a problem. I know it. Like, I've had it for years, my entire life. Basically, I've always been this way where I'm like, I used to look at myself as like a kid and being like, oh my God, I'm so fat. Which is crazy because I had a
insane.
literal 12 pack at some point when I was a little kid and like a teenager. So it's just something I've always dealt with. I know I have problems. I've talked to people about it. Like I've gone to therapy. I've talked to people about this. And so I know I have body dysmorphia. I know I had an eating disorder. I got over it for a little bit. And I guess it's just like the wedding and everything coming up. It's coming. It's coming back. I feel it.
I think that the really powerful thing here is that you recognize it. One of the biggest red flag, like scary things for me
is denial.
I had a client, I have a newer client that had a moment earlier this week, and I was like, this is really concerning.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not equipped to deal with a full-blown eating disorder.
Yeah.
And I was like, I love you. I'm here for you. And like, she's fine now.
Yeah.
But we talked through it, but I was like, I'm going to be really honest with you. Cause like what she was texting me was kind of like this, like just talking. And someone told her she looked really healthy. And she was like, I'm fat. And I was like,
yeah, I don't want anyone to ever say that
well,
to me.
and I was like, where did you learn that healthy is a bad thing? Like, where did you start to associate a negative connotation?
Like, I used to feed off of like people being like, oh my God, you look so skinny. Like, you look so skinny.
It's easy. It's
I'm
like
like,
a
thank you.
dopamine hit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm like, when somebody tells me I look super skinny. And then like my mom.
You look super skinny.
Thank you. I remember like my mom would be like, Taylor, like you look so skinny. Like you need to stop. Like you cannot lose anymore. I have people around me that are like, you cannot lose any more weight. And like, they're like, obviously with my mother, and then like my family, and like
Your sister did at Easter.
Yeah, she's like, you're too skinny. But my sister's always been that way to me.
It's a sister thing.
It's
My
a sister
does it,
thing.
yeah.
But like, I've had people like that comment on my pictures that are like, you look emaciated. And I'm like, thank you. And I'm like, that is not okay. In my mind, I'm like, that's not okay. I shouldn't be that way.
It's just a weird, it's freaking sad because I resonate with it. I'm sure other people do too. Like at Christmas time or like anytime I go home, like my dad's fiance, my stepmom will be like, you need to gain weight. And like, if she doesn't, I'm immediately like, have I gained weight? Like,
Why isn't she saying anything to me about it? Yeah.
like why didn't you? But I think it's because the last time she said it, I snapped at her. And so it's like a double-edged sword of like, don't tell me, like, I think that commenting on people's bodies is wrong no matter what. Like, we shouldn't comment if it's a positive.
Yeah.
We shouldn't comment if it's a negative because you don't know how the person's going to react.
Yeah. And I mean, I get why my mom does it, my family does it, because my mom cares about me.
Yes.
So she's going to do it. And she doesn't ever do it in a place of like hatefulness. It's more of like Taylor. Because I think she's,
What she knows.
she's the only person that like really has like seen me in like my negative headspace. Like she's seen me like at like pageants, but also like practice for pageants when I'd have to walk in a swimsuit and I would just be crying because I was like, oh my God, I'm so huge. I'm so big. And like, I was smaller than I was now when I would cry about those things.
I think that's also like a really important message to get out as people who like practice healthy lifestyles, because it's really easy on social media to kind of glamorize it and be like, oh my God, I want that. But like, even like when I was a week out from competing, I think I weighed 90 pounds. Like I hated my body.
Yeah.
And that's so sad because then looking back, I'm like, oh, I was too skinny, but I'm just like, oh, I was shredded and I was having bad body image days and like, I'm a whale. And it's like, that's not normal.
Yeah, no.
And I think people like, everyone struggles with it. So when you're setting out to achieve a certain body, it's important to understand that like, whether it's your starting point or your ending point, you're going to have those days.
Yeah. And it's an uphill battle, and there's always going to be things. And, you know, hopefully there's a point in my life where like, I don't think about it anymore, but I don't know if there's ever going to be.
I think it will. I mean, I know that this is like really cliche and it's a really famous quote, but like your body is the like least interesting thing about you. I think that what a big thing is like finding purpose outside of the way that you look. And that's kind of hard to do.
Especially with what I do.
Well, I think that like being a mom.
Yeah.
I think that for me, a big thing that I really, like Ryan and I have talked about wanting to raise our kids on, like we don't want to raise our kids at McDonald's and fast
No.
food. Like I grew up, and this is nothing against my parents, it was a different time, but like we did not eat great.
Yeah.
So like,
But back then
I like junk because I grew up eating it.
Yeah.
And I obviously now know like, oh, I need to balance it out and mostly eat healthy. But like if you raise your kids in an environment where it's a treat and like
Yeah.
it's not off limits, but like it's a treat, but normally you're eating healthy, that's just how they're going to eat.
Yeah.
And I also, especially with a daughter, I want my daughter to not grow up watching me tear myself apart, because it kind of instills it in
them.
Like, I watched my mom do it and she didn't know, but like now I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing the same thing.
My mom was never that way though. Like it's my sister's not that way. Like my sister doesn't have these issues really. Like my sister, I mean, she talks about like wanting to be healthier, and things like that, and that's fine and normal. But like it's truly like I'm the only one in the family that like
stresses
about it.
I do think pageants.
Oh, pageants and modeling. Oh, screwed me up for sure. I'll say that.
I think that's an inevitable.
Yeah.
Same as bodybuilding, I think.
Yeah. It ruined but I've always been this way. Even when I was younger, like I always thought about this, that I wanted to be like stick thin, skinny as skinny gets. And like, I wanted to be, I've always wanted to be a 000, and I never wanted to go past that.
Yeah. It's such
I don't allow myself to get past like my weight that I'm at and like my measurements. Like I know my measurements to a T.
Well, if you put on muscle, it distributes differently. So like someone, like you carry it differently. So,
but I still
like
know.
for example, I weigh the same now as I did like when I started actually I weigh less, but about the same as before I started my fitness journey. And I was chunky. I was chunky chunkster, but it looks different because I have muscle on my body now. So that's another thing, like with the scale, that's tricky because like the scale doesn't measure all the stuff,
all the things. No, and I know that, but it's like I know like my measurements of like, have you ever seen? It's like the something Maleficent Maisel, something Maisel. It's a Amazon Prime show.
I don't think so.
It's a big show, but there's a clip in one of the shows where she like measures herself every month. And she's like her body measurements are the same every month, and she knows the symmetry every month, and that's like where I'm at. Like I'm that way. Like I know my measurements, and they don't change. I won't let them change really. It's fine if they go down, but if they go up, I'm like, oh God.
Do you have a therapist? Like do you? I don't
not
like.
Anymore.
I mean that
not
like,
anymore, but I need to go back. I know I
just
feel
because
it.
like obviously like. There's only so much advice people
can give me.
Yeah, and I think that like the fact that you're talking about it publicly, like openly, and the fact that you recognize it is huge.
Yeah.
If you were in massive denial, I'd be like, Ryan, we gotta help her. We gotta.
You're like Max.
Max,
you need to
let's sit.
send. If we need to send her somewhere, take her back, figure it out. And it's like I'm not horrible to myself. Like I feed myself. I take care of myself. Like I know. Like I'm not restricting myself from anything that I want. Like if I want it, I'm gonna have it. But I just know, like I just know if I'm gonna eat that, then I'm like gonna cut out other things, or I'll do an extra workout or something.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I just know these habits.
Well, and you don't want it to spiral and get worse.
No, God no. Especially with like more time coming up and like or less time coming up for the wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's because I have this like perfect image in my head of how I want the wedding to be is what I think is causing all
But
of
it will
this.
be that.
No, I know. But I'm like, I have it in my mind that I'm like, I want to make sure that I look this specific way.
Or it's because you're like very type A. Like do you know your Enneagram?
I think so. What's yours?
I don't know a ton about these, but I know that I'm I think I'm a 2-wing 3. My like wings are like 3 and 1, but I'm a 2. I feel like you might be a 1, or maybe like I only know that because I had a friend back in Ohio who was a 1, and she always talked about how she was super type A.
I remember I'm a type 1 and a
2.
I know I'm a 1, but then there was another one that I like care about helping. Consider it.
It's a 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2.
That's what I am.
Yeah, I'm a 1 and 2.
I can't remember what 3 is, but yeah, you were talking, and I was like, I feel like she's a 1.
Oh,
which makes sense.
Yeah, 3 is competitive achiever, intense creative is 4, quiet specialist is 5, loyal skeptic is 6, enthusiast visionary, and 8 is an active controller, and then 9 is adaptive peacemaker. I'm definitely a 1 and a 2. I remember taking it now.
Yeah. which I'm like not super into all that stuff, but I was like, pretty fitting. Yeah, I see that.
You're like, I see
can
this. I see how this is
I
me.
saved a thing on Instagram. I almost shared it on my story, but it was like, I think Callie shared it.
Yeah.
It was like, once I stop people pleasing, it's over for you bitches. And then it was like, if that's okay with you guys. I was like, I feel seen.
That's me. That's how I feel too. No, for sure. Oh man, that's good. That was a good one.
Sorry, we got off track there.
Yeah, guys, I'm so sorry that we just
No,
dove.
I'm so happy that we did. I'm proud of you.
Thanks.
Because I think that that's something that's really, really hard to admit to yourself, and it's even harder to admit out loud.
I don't know why I felt like I needed to say that.
Well, I'm glad you did. Number one, I want to be your safe space, but also,
Yeah.
You look
Guys,
amazing.
Guys,
and
we're
I'm-
not trying to promote
No, not
unhealthy
at all.
habits by any means. Like, I know I'm not okay. I understand that I'm not okay, and I will get help. Don't you worry.
Well, and it's not like you're like on the brink of like collapsing.
No.
But I don't know. I think that the reason I'm not super, super like, oh God, is because you know.
Yeah. If I was just like denying, then I know it's an issue. Because
Well,
like,
you can always like text me, text Heidi, like literally have us hold you accountable. Like, hey, I'm having these thoughts.
no, I know.
Because the other thing is, and a good motivator is you want to have kids. And whenever, like when you restrict and overwork yourself, it's really, really hard to get pregnant.
Oh, I know. And I like was talking to my friends, and she was like, she works out all the time, and like, you know her, but she wants to have kids, and she's like, I have to gain weight in order to have children. And I'm like, if like you're having to gain weight, like, oh my God, like we're both gonna have to gain weight to have children. I'm like,
I'm trying to think.
we'll talk about it after. But yeah, like I'm like, if we're gonna have to gain weight to have children, I'm terrified. Like,
That's a really weird thing because I think one of the questions was that.
oh really?
Something about having to gain weight to have a baby.
Oh God bless. I'm terrified to see it. We'll get into that though. Anyways, guys, on a positive note, Jojo Siwa.
Okay, I felt like we had to talk
We
about
have
this.
to talk about this.
I don't even know where to begin.
I can't
She was a bad girl.
I'm gonna throw up.
I don't like
I shouldn't have effed around.
effed. Have you seen the music video?
I refuse to watch it.
Oh, I saw a clip of it and she's literally like
Humping
humping
a girl. Yeah, I saw that too. And like, go off, sis. Like, do your thing. I don't really care about the music video and the song. I did find out that she's like now saying that all these songs that she wrote, that she made all these things, and they're all actual, like, I mean, I know there's like ghostwriters and whatnot, but like these are all songs. Like, she came out with another song, like she did a pop-up at like a New York bar in Soho,
And it was another.
and it was another girl's song, and she said it was her song, and I'm like, how are you gonna get away with that? Well, then now it's coming out in 2013. This girl named Brittany Smith, I think is her name. I might be right, I might be wrong, I don't know. Wrote this song, and like there's a whole music video for Karma.
So what makes me, I do wonder, because what I saw was that Karma was pitched to Miley Cyrus
Yeah.
and she didn't want it. So I wonder if Jojo Siwa bought the rights,
But she said
she's
she
claiming
wrote
she
it.
wrote it.
And I'm like, I don't like that. One. And then two, I'm a Miley fan. Like, I love Miley
Oh, me
Cyrus.
too.
And Bangers was banging. Like, it was hot. Like, I remember that. That was
I
a
wasn't
pivotal,
icked out by it at all.
no,
like,
it was a pivotal moment in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And her saying that she wants to have Banger. Like, she wants to do what Miley did with Bangers. Honey, you're not doing what Miley did with Bangers. Like, Miley completely changed everything about her. Like, what we knew her as. You just went from colorful to black and white monochromatic.
Literally, she's still putting rhinestones in her hair.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, like, I know we're like,
There's nothing wrong.
I'm being a hater. However,
We're being haters. We are being haters.
the problem to me is that she, first of all, when Miley Cyrus did Bangers, she didn't announce to the world.
Yeah, she's doing a rebrand.
Like, she didn't have to, because it just happened and we were all like, oh, like she came out at, what was it, the VMAs, and
Yeah.
was like,
Bangers.
yeah. But Jojo Siwa keeps like shoving it. Like, you don't have to say, I always say this, like, if you're a good person, you don't have to tell and announce to the world that you're a good person.
Yeah.
You don't need to announce to the world that you're a bad girl. Like, just do it.
Just do it.
And let us be like, oh God. And she thinks she's doing something.
Yeah. And she's like, what I also was blown away by when she made the comment about like, I want to start gay pop as a genre. And she did come out and say like, she wants to make it known that gay pop is like its own genre. And I get that. I get it.
Yeah.
But there are so many greats that have come before you in gay pop that I'm just like, sister, you need to sit down, because you're offending everybody that paved the way for you to be where you are.
And like, it's just pop. Why does it have to be? I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that, but like there is a genre of it, and I get it and I understand it and I love it. But like saying those things, that would be like me being like, I'm the first Miss Texas to like ever make a statement, to like really speak my truth. Like, no, honey. I am not the first Miss Texas to ever do that. Like, there are people that came before me and did what they did in order to do what I do.
Well, I don't know. And I just think that she's trying too hard, because I did listen to a little bit of the Call Her Daddy. I swore I wouldn't. Ryan was like, you said you weren't going to do that.
Oh, I can't.
I literally, I was like, I'm not giving her the view. However, I didn't want to get on TikTok that day, like that morning. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to put it on.
How was it?
I mean, she just tries too hard, but it did humanize her just a little bit. But like, I don't know, there's just something about her that's so try hard. And if she was just authentic and herself,
but I don't think she knows how to do that. I think
she was a kid.
Because she was a kid and she was brought up in this like world that like, it's different than like Miley Cyrus and like the other teenage pop stars, because there wasn't social media during that time. Like Instagram and TikTok had just come out, where like, unfortunately for like the girls on Dance Moms, like their lives were all over the television, on the internet. I'm gonna hiccup.
I thought you were about to start crying. I was like, oh,
no, hiccup. Sorry. I'm gonna hold my breath for a little bit. But you know, I'm holding my breath and talking. It's really hard, guys. Like they grew up on social media, like TikTok, Instagram, like that was their thing. And so like they had to have these images and they had these brands, and like she stuck so hard by her brand that that's just who she became, and that's who she is now. Mm-hmm. And she doesn't, I feel like she doesn't know who she is truly deep down. Like I feel like she's still so young, and like she has so much to learn. And like I think about myself at her age, like 21, 22, like I was a child still.
Yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Like I was cringy.
Yeah, I was so cringy.
But it's hard, because like at the end, like you want to humanize her so bad, but she makes it really easy to be like, what is wrong with you?
I know. And then her being like, oh, you're 29 to Alex. And she's like, you're the age that judges me. I'm like, no, everybody's judging you right now.
It's like, or like she came at like Tana, because Tana made a video. James Charles made a video.
Oh, I didn't see it.
I just saw a clip of it. I think it's deleted. It was on the Vile files, and like Nick Vile was really instigating it. Like he was like, she was being like a biatch. Like that was so like biatch. And all Tana said, like she made a joke out of it. It was not serious, but she was like, I just want to know if Jojo Siwa's ever like popped a perk 30 or like told somebody off. And Jojo was like super, super offended by it. And I'm like, I mean,
I want to be offended by that, but that's kind of funny. Like only
it's
Tana.
A joke.
No, I know. I feel like she's so, and I don't know if she's doing it to like get her name out there, because you could do this as like a marketing PR strategy, but I'm like, it's not a good one. I mean, I guess any publicity is good publicity, but I'm like, in the sense of like, this is like, people are all over the internet, and I guess you now consider us like we're bashing her. We're not bashing her. I mean, she's still a human. Like I respect what she's doing, but I don't like that she's saying that she did all these things, that she's creating this world, she's creating this genre, when she's not.
She compared herself to Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson is like a music legend. I think she's clowning.
I don't know. I can't.
She can't help you.
I can't tell. I cannot tell. And it's just, I don't know, guys. I don't know the truth behind it all.
We would love your opinions.
Yeah. But I refuse to listen to the whole song.
It is kind of catchy.
I mean, refuse.
I haven't listened to it at all, but if it wasn't like, you know what she should have done? Like if she really wanted to be like, oh, I'm grown, she should have just dropped a hard F-bomb instead of F'd.
Yeah. She's not going to do that.
No. Mm-mm.
I just like, when I think of Jojo Siwa, have you ever seen the video of her on G-Flip's stage in the background?
I don't know.
That's all I think of when somebody says Jojo Siwa.
Beau?
No, she was not Beau. So G-Flip is like a gay legend in the music world. She's dating Chriselle from Selling Sunset?
Or is it Selling?
Oppenheimer Group.
Is it Sunset or
Selling Sunset? It's Selling Sunset. Yeah. She's dating Chriselle from Selling Sunset, and she's just like this like lesbian rock star.
Love that.
And she had Jojo Siwa on, which Jojo Siwa I think stole her look and like is copying everything she's doing. But she like was on the back of the stage, like literally, like she like dropped it low. She was humping the stage. She was humping the air.
She addressed this in Call Her Daddy.
And I was like, Jojo Siwa, where is your bow? And this was like the first video I saw that like of her doing this. And I was like, it made me, I was like, what is she doing? Like, it was like, you know, secondhand embarrassment. Like where like, oh, there's videos of me that like I've done something like embarrassing. And I'm like, and you like watch it and you're like, everyone is watching this embarrassed for me. That's how I felt.
Yeah, some of those things give me anxiety.
No, I get anxiety from it. It's like when you watch a movie. Do you guys ever watch a movie? I want to know this because I think about this all the time. And I like asked Max about this. If like he gets uncomfortable and awkward, like like I cannot believe it just happened in a movie or a TV show. And he's like, that I don't ever get that way. But like I feel like it's a girl thing where you watch something like, especially like a rom-com, like, and even like the teenage rom-coms, and you're like like uncomfortable for the situation and the person. Like it's like one of those things that you
You feel it.
You feel it, but you'd sit like if that was you and you did that, like you'd like wake up in the middle of the night some nights like, oh my God, I cannot believe I did that back in 2006.
I absolutely.
Does that make sense?
No, it does, because well, I get that way in really uncomfortable like movie like scenes and
Yeah.
stuff. Like I'll be like, I want like Ryan and I will fast forward sometimes because we both get anxiety.
Because
we're
it's like cringy.
like this is so cringy and awkward, and I don't like, because it's that feeling. It's like if this happened to me.
Yeah.
But I've also
I would like be unwell if that came out.
I've had moments where I've done something really embarrassing and like it's just me being ditzy, but I still to this day agonize over it. Like at the drip place, she asked me if there was an A in my last name and I said no, and she was like, McPhail, and I was like, oh.
That's not ditzy.
But I was like, that's so embarrassing. Like I can't even spell my own last name.
Oh, it happens to me all the time. I'm horrible at spelling.
Yeah, she put me on the spot.
It's fine. No, I say silly things all the time. I'm a silly goose.
A goofy goober.
A goofy
I'm
goose.
like, well, she's always gonna think I'm dumb, but it's okay. I'll never see her again.
You know what? I just want to figure out what's going on with Jojo Siwa. I want to know.
Poor girl.
I mean,
I just think
not poor girl. She's so successful and has so much money and she's doing great. But it's just like, I just want her to be herself. I don't want her to feel like she has to do all these things in order to be famous or in order to make money. Like, I just want her to be her.
well, and like she talks about, which I think we all have this, where she's like, I'm on Call Her Daddy. She was like, I think her name's Josie. That could be wrong, but she was like, there's Jojo and then there's like Josie, and like they're two different people.
Yeah, you have
And
your alter ego.
And like I get that when you're famous for sure, but I just feel like she could have rebranded so differently.
She could have.
And she could have stood on like the bad girl thing, but I don't know. Yeah.
Like if she's gonna be a bad girl, I want her to be a bad girl. Like I want, like if she's gonna do it, I want her to go full out bangers. Like I want her to like throw parties. Like, because I remember like a lot of my friends at that time when Miley was doing bangers. Like one of my good guy friends, he was at one of her parties, and he was like, Taylor, like no, like she's like really crazy. Like she was doing like explicit things, and like she was literally
doing, like
she was
heavy
bangers.
drugs.
Like yeah, she was wild. Like she was insane. And like he was like, she's not the same person that like we thought she was. And like, you know, I love Miley in all her stages. I do. And like I'm like, if she's gonna do it, I obviously do not want Jojo Siwa to do like drugs or anything crazy, but like I want her to like be edgy. Like if she wants to be like that rocker, like go into rock. Like if you want to do rap, like she wants to do rap. She loves Eminem. I'm like, go off, like do it. Like I felt like what she's doing is like she's not committing to like,
she's not committed to the bit.
no.
Like a lot of it is in the look.
Yeah. I want her like, because I feel like nothing's changed but the color that she's wearing.
Like she's no longer wearing bows. There's something. There's the other part of it, which I know nothing about any of these accusations, but I know that she's like a lot of people are like she's problematic because she defends Colleen Ballinger, or like she's friends with like James Charles, and I don't know anything about that.
I don't know anything about that either. That was Miranda Sings, right? Is Colleen?
Yes, but I don't know why people think she's a bad person.
Oh, because she was having people on stage. I remember seeing something about this or listening to something Max was listening to. I didn't really ever watch Miranda Sings.
I just remember the voice.
Yeah, I just know the voice and like the red lipstick. But that's like I only know it from like Vine days. But Max, I think, was watching a video and it was like she was having like people on stage do like young girls do very inappropriate things.
Oh, okay. Understandable.
Yeah.
So I guess like standing behind well, that makes me sad because Jojo's probably one of them that she.
Probably.
That's just, I don't know. The whole child star thing.
I don't ever want my children to be children stars, like
No.
child stars. It scares me.
Like if you want to do that when you're grown.
But when she said that she's the only person in the generation that's like made this huge transition, I'm like, hello, Olivia like in her generation. I'm like, Olivia Rodrigo, has nobody listened to Guts? She just dropped a song saying that she's like, is she good in bed?
I need to listen
I'm
to
like,
it.
she was a Disney princess. Like she was Disney.
Was she?
Yeah.
I didn't know Olivia Rodrigo.
Yeah, she was Disney. She was a Disney, like she was on Disney Channel for a long time. Very long time. And then she dropped her first album, Sour, then which was like still edgy for her at the time. And then the second album, Guts, like it's talking about like in like All American Girl, it's like All American tits.
Oh.
Her hips, her lips. Yeah. Like it was the
Go
line
Alexis.
is the line's like and something for my all American hips is what she says, but she like did an interview where she's like, no, it's gonna be American tits, and like so now she sings that at the concert, which is kind of funny. And then like there's another line that I love because Max even said it to me. He's like, it would have been better if it was like it goes, I miss the way he kisses and the way he makes me laugh. And
oh no,
Max is like, it would have been way better if she said like, I miss the way he kisses and the way he smacks my ass. And she says that's like what she was gonna say, but she was like, I didn't want to really go too far in that.
Too far, yeah.
And like that line, but I'm like, no, that's iconic.
Okay, but even like the distinct difference there is there's
she's not trying to do it.
Confidence is one thing, but telling everyone that you're like groundbreaking, nobody's done this, I'm so great, like this is so edgy, and we've all known a Jojo Siwa.
Yeah, but I mean, like Olivia didn't say anything; she just did it. Like, and that's with Miley. Miley just did it. Like
don't talk about it, be about it.
Literally, Miley did it. Lindsay did it. I'm trying to think who else like went off.
Amanda Bynes.
Amanda. I mean, that's different in the sense, but yeah, she still did it. But like, I think definitely Miley like fully went like, I'm edgy,
and she still is to this day.
Yeah, look at me now,
and I'm here for it. I adore Miley.
I do too. Miley's, I think, one of the greatest songbirds of our generation.
And I mean, Miley got a lot of hate for that, but I don't remember ever being...
Bangers Tour was one of the best concerts. That was the most...
You went...
Lit. Yes. Oh my gosh. Lit concert I've ever been to. Oh, I do too. I bop that shit.
To this day.
To this day. I love it. Like Bangers. Oh!
Such...
Bangers.
I think I saw her in concert when she was Hannah Montana. I don't really remember it though. I'm pretty sure it was Jonas Brothers and Hannah Montana.
Yeah, she was. I've seen her at Rodeo. I've seen her as Jonas Brothers, Hannah Montana. I've seen her as the Miley Cyrus, like welcoming Miley Cyrus, like Miley Cyrus Hannah Montana concert. Then I've seen her as just Miley Cyrus twice, I think, and then Bangers.
Oh, I would kill to like go back in time.
I know.
She should do an Eras.
I wonder
the first half is Hannah Montana.
I would scream. I would love it. I would live for it. Like,
have you watched fully Eras?
Yes, but I want to watch it again.
I really want to watch it.
We need to watch it. Next weekend, we're not doing a single thing on Saturday because that's my free day. I am inviting you and Heidi over, and we are going to watch the Bangers. We're going to watch the Bangers tour. I'm going to find it. No, we're going to watch the Eras tour, and we're going to enjoy our time. I'm going to have a glass of wine, and I'm going to live my best life.
I'm here for it.
We can order some snacks in.
I can bring my sparkly guitar. It can be a test prop or something.
Woo!
Okay, really quick pivot here. Because I also, have you seen a lot about, it's kind of irrelevant now, but J-Lo? How she got like super, super canceled?
About the Bronx?
Yes. Like her new movie.
I haven't seen the new movie. I don't really know. I heard that she was getting canceled, but I didn't understand why. But then I saw the whole thing about like people making fun about her order in the Bronx, and she's like, it's like Vogue asked her like, what's your go-to Bottega order? And she said ham and cheese on a roll and orange drink. If you know, you know. And I was like, what kind of orange drink? What orange drink is it? And I don't get it all.
What's a Bottega?
Bottega's, okay, so it's a New York thing.
Okay.
It's like a East Coast thing, like northern East Coast. And it's like a gas station kind of deli place where you go. It's the Bottega. We're going to go to the Bottega.
to me, it sounded like a club. So like
Kind of.
everyone
Might
was
as well be.
talking about it, and
No.
I was like, I don't even know what that is.
So it's like a grocery store, convenience store, kind of gas station-y vibe where you have like you can go to the deli, order a sandwich, like, and like bodegas in New York, like they're known, like if you're going to a bodega in New York, especially the Bronx, like you're known for like getting like some off the menu kind of sandwich or thing or snack, and like you have a specific order that like they're known for.
Okay, yeah,
That's
because
why
I saw
somebody-
one where like a mom was like, "This is what I get," and it was like, "Hold the cheese, flip the sauce." Da, 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 da.
Yeah. It's like it's like some crazy explanation order, but it's always something unique and different.
And she got ham and cheese on a roll.
On a roll with an orange drink, you know, in a small chip bag.
And then she like keeps walking, and he's like, "What's something everyone in New York says?" And she's like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that was one of those things where I was like,
We're
"This
like,
is so cringy," and I can't watch it again.
Yeah.
And people were saying that she's like not a nice person, like she's super.
No,
super mean,
I've heard that she's not a nice person from a lot of people.
which makes me sad. I've always liked JLo.
I
I
do
really
too.
like her in The Wedding Planner.
Wedding Planner. What is the other one?
I'm trying to think. Oh my God. Monster-in-Law.
Monster-in-Law's good. No. But it's made in
in
Manhattan.
Manhattan. Mhm.
Oh, that movie. That dress, the pink dress, that was a canon event in my life because I was like, that's what I want to look like for sure.
She's just, I mean, obviously gorgeous, but it just sucks that like
I mean, guys, she's successful. Like, let's be honest.
Well,
we have no room to talk.
O to be on these people's PR teams.
Oh, I know. I would love to sit in on one of these like interviews or like these meetings where it's like, guys, well, this got taken the wrong way today, and we have to fix this.
It's happening.
Yeah, I actually don't want to ever have to be on one of those teams to have to deal with somebody's drama and like things that they've done.
Like crisis management nonstop.
Yeah, no. I don't think I have it in me to do that. I'd be good at it. I'd be really good at it, but I would think I would hate it.
I just think it'd be so stressful because like I'd see something and be like, why would you do that?
Because some things just happen. Sometimes it goes off. Yeah. What do you think about the whole JLo thing though?
I mean, I don't know her. I thought it was really unfortunate. It was thoroughly entertaining. But I think
Did you watch her documentary?
No. I heard that, and then she had some kind of a movie that was like a lot of AI generated stuff or something. It was her love story with.
Yeah.
But my problem is when that many people are coming out and saying that you're not a nice person and that you're mean, like that's not good. It's one thing if like when one person is like screaming and shouting to the masses, like this person's not a good person, but everyone else is like, no, they're great.
Yeah.
But like with that many people,
I don't know that much like about it to like.
I just know like I don't either. But like the few that I saw were her just being like awful to service workers, awful to waitresses. Like one girl was like, I walked up to her table, like she wasn't super famous yet. She's like, I walked over to her table to like get their drinks, and she literally was like, someone else. And the girl was like what? And she was like, different server, we don't want you. I'm just like, why would you act that way?
Especially for famous.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of famous people think that they're something special, but Morgan Wallen throws chairs.
Yeah, wait, what was that about? Something going on with him today or this week?
I think it was like,
Did he get arrested again?
yeah.
Morgan.
He threw a chair. Ryan was telling me, because he's smiling in his mugshot. He threw a chair off of a rooftop bar in Nashville, and it landed next to police officers on Broadway. And he's facing like 3 felonies. Which I love Morgan. Okay.
Morgan Wallen to open Nashville bar following arrest for alleged rooftop chair throwing incident. Morgan.
He was a little drunk and a little rowdy.
Yeah, but no, don't throw chairs off of buildings. What
Like
if you
people were making songs like "Leave them Broadway chairs alone."
leave them Broadway chairs alone? Sorry for whoever just had whoever just has headphones and heard me sing that.
You get a record deal.
Honestly, she can hit a tune. I can't.
I thought it was good. It was beautiful.
I sounded just like him.
You did.
I cut my hair off.
If he goes to prison, he's set. Yeah.
I'm Morgan Wallen now.
Oh my God.
Today has just been funny. Oh man. Okay, so you want to talk about Bachelor finale?
Okay, this is our last pop culture thing. I'm sorry. I was trying to think of like things over the past couple of weeks because last week we didn't do like pop
We didn't do
culture
any
talk.
pop culture.
I say this because I did not watch any of it, but I saw that like the two girls, Kelsey and Daisy.
Yeah.
They were it was the first time ever that the final two
Were together in the
rode
car.
together, and like they're still friendly.
Yeah.
And this like the Daisy I saw the clip because I think Kelsey's mom had passed away.
Yeah, and she's like, your mom is looking.
Yes,
is
she
here
knew
with
that
you.
she was.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm not the one, but like, it was such a girl
Well,
moment.
So what led up to that was I didn't watch the season. I should have, because apparently it was a really good season. Daisy like didn't get the recognition that she needed, and like just was like, you know what, let me talk to Kelsey. Like she just didn't feel right after her last final date with Joey, and went to go to Daisy and talk to Daisy, or Daisy went to Kelsey, went to go talk to her and like see how she wanted to get recognition and like just
like clarity.
clarity on the entire situation. And so she was talking to her about it and how she didn't really get the the true feeling that he was there for her, and she was questioning it, and she's like, you know what, I didn't really get what I wanted out of him. She says she didn't really get to talk much on the date, that they didn't really have that connection. Something felt off. It wasn't what it used to be like. And Kelsey said the opposite of that. And Daisy was like, you know what? I know that I'm not your person. Like, I know that it's not me. And she told Kelsey, like, okay, great for you. Good for you. Like, truthfully, girl, like going to talk to the other woman and like figuring it out. And then Daisy went to go final day and was like, you don't even have to say anything. Like, I already know. Like, I know that I'm not the person that you're in love with, and that's okay.
I just was really impressed by it because that's an environment for girls to get really catty and mean. And I think girls are absolutely catty and mean.
They are.
And I was so impressed by it. And then there was even a part where, like, because Kelsey knew.
Yeah.
He wrote her that letter.
Yeah, he wrote her like a multiple page letter.
Telling her, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was on the table when Daisy went to
Yeah.
talk to her. And I saw a clip of that.
Her, like,
and
folding
she
it
picks
up and, like, hides it.
And, like, to protect her feelings like that and to be just like in this moment, like I know, like I'm happy for myself, but I also need to be there for her. I was like, what a woman.
Yeah. No, they really missed the mark letting Daisy be the bachelorette. And I guess Daisy might have turned it down. And like, you know, rightfully so, like, go off, girl. Like, you don't need the Bachelor franchise in order to like be successful and be a good, like, to have everything you want in life. But I was just so impressed because I have had a lot of friends that have gone on the show. Like, I have so many friends that like have been on The Bachelorette, that have competed, that the Miss Texas before me was on The Bachelorette.
Well, you told me there's a lot of
cattiness and like it's just a lot of drama, and like it's always drama, and like the producers cause drama, and it's you can get pinned in a way that like looks bad. But I was so proud of Daisy and Kelsey, and like, because Daisy did love Joey. Like, to love somebody and to let them go is a feeling of hurt that's like unlike anything else. But she knew that the love Joey had for Kelsey was just so much greater, and she knew Kelsey was a good person and loved Kelsey as much, and like knew Kelsey loved him just as much as well. And she's like, I'm gonna take myself out of this equation, and like I'm gonna break my own heart just so you don't have to.
Well, I think that's also like a very pure form of love.
Oh,
to
yeah.
love someone so much that it doesn't, like, even if you're not their happiness, you just want them to be happy is huge. Especially, like, I just feel like it would have been so easy for the producers and even them to get jealous and catty. And I was just like, this season is worth watching to me.
Oh yeah,
for that reason.
I kind of want to watch it.
I'll watch it with you. Just because I was like, oh my God, like that's so kind. I've never, ever in my life experienced.
No, I mean, I feel like she gives off really good energy.
Both of them.
Yeah.
Even Joey. Like, I was like, you know what a sweetheart. Because he cried when she, like the clip
So
that I saw.
I knew he cared for her. Like, you care for those people. Like, you build these connections. It's not like you can just turn it off. It just stops. It's not like that at all. It's like they're actual people with actual feelings and actual relationships.
Have they ever had a bachelor or bachelorette where like it blows up mid-season where the person's like, I love this person and I don't want to do that? Oh man.
Jojo and
Jojo Siwa.
not Jojo Siwa, Jojo Fletcher and Jason Rogers.
What did they do? They were just like, all right, that's it.
No, she like knew midway through the season, and she like, I think she still finished off the season, but she just kept saying like, I know who it is.
That's super tough.
Yeah, and then there was like the older girl that they had, not older, she was like in mid-30s, but she's the oldest Bachelorette contestant like ever, and she knew, and I think she left halfway through the show.
That'd be me. I'd be like, I gotta go.
Yeah. I just don't think I don't think I have it in me to date that many people at one time. I couldn't do it.
No, I can't. Like, I put all of my
priority into one person.
Well, and like Ryan has always said, because like we've talked about like cheating and stuff, and I'm like, I just don't understand. Like, I don't get it. And he's like, it's just because it's not the way your brain is wired. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just very like focused. I'm even that way in like friendships.
Yeah.
Ah.
No. Or no. If you're not watching this, Sydney just got stuck on the couch.
I got velcroed.
She got velcroed to the couch. It was not nice.
Crikey.
Okay.
Okay.
But that's our pop culture moments. Hot stuff, guys. Hot
We
stuff.
love your input as well.
Yeah. Guys, by no means were we trying to be mean about Jojo Siwa.
I know. Please know that we weren't trying to
destroy
I think
her.
if anything, we just want her to be authentic.
Heck yeah, we do. Okay. So on that note of being a good friend, how are you a good friend or a partner to someone struggling to make positive change in their lives?
So I think that the first thing that really, really is important to me, because in friendships I haven't had this, is like me letting them know that I support them and I love them.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to do this thing, or like, you don't have to do it the way I think you should do it.
Yeah.
In order for me to support you. However, like, let's talk about it. Let's talk about like, what changes are you trying to make and what's your plan to get there so I can support you in that.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it should never, I think in order to be a good friend, especially when making change is hard.
Yeah.
And so like, instead of forcing something on someone, just being like, okay, like, let's talk about it. What's your plan? Do you even want my input? And
yeah.
like, do you just need support? Do you want my input? And that to me is like I'm impressed by that in friendship.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
I think it's important, well, I think we hit on it with Heidi last week too, but it's always been a big thing for me is like, a lot of my friends, I feel like, do come to me. I feel like I'm the maternal one in the friendship group. So I feel like I do always have my friends come to me for advice, but they know when they're coming to me for advice that I'm not going to give them what they want to hear. I'm never going to be like, oh, I guess you should do that. No, I'm going to be honest. And I always tell them, like, do you want me to be honest, or do you want me to like say what's going to make you feel better? And I always want to say things that are going to make people feel better about themselves. I never want to hurt anybody's feeling, but if you want me to be honest with you and you want my advice, like, I'm going to give it to you straight. And it's never going to come from a place of like hate or anger or any malice. Like, I don't want to be rude to you ever, but I will tell you if I don't think something's right or I don't think something's okay. And I always find that, we talked about this with Heidi, and I was like, I can tell you all of the things that I think you should be doing or what I think is the best idea for the situation or how you should handle something or how you respond to something. But if that's not what you feel is best for you, then okay, like, that's okay. Like, you need to do what's good for you. And I was like, this is your decision to make. This is all about you. And, we're all telling you different things, and like, sure, great. Like, one friend's telling you to do one thing, one friend's telling you to do another. Somebody else is telling you to do the opposite of all of those things. I'm over here telling you it's not their decision. It's your decision. You need to focus on what's good for you, what's best for you, what you think you need, because at the end of the day, it's your life and it's not ours. We don't have to live in it. We don't have to live in that truth. We don't have to live in that situation. That's all you. And like, yes, we will be here for you if it goes good, bad, upside down, backwards, forward, whatever it is, however it ends up, I'm going to be here for you at the end of the day. But I want you to do the decisions that you feel the best and most comfortable in. And I think that's really important, because yeah, like, your friends are going to give you advice, but like, a friend that's going to give you advice and then get upset that you didn't take that advice,
I don't think that's a good friend, personally. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people struggle with. Like,
Yeah.
most people don't think the way that you and I think in that.
No.
Or like Heidi.
Yeah.
It's like, because that's the definition of being a true friend.
yeah. I'm going to tell you everything I think, but like if you don't want to take that advice, then that's fine. That's not the advice to say. And I'm never going to be the type of person that's like, yeah, I told you so, because most of the time, like I have had friends who like ask me for their advice and they do the opposite of everything I say to do, and it comes back and she's like, I should have listened to you. And I'm like, but like, it's okay. It's now you know what you need to do next time. Like you just will get through this situation now and we'll move on and keep going. And you know, I never want somebody to tell me how to live my life, so I'm never going to tell somebody else how to live theirs.
Exactly. And I think there's a difference between saying like, I think this is what you need, or like this is like if they're open to it. I also think that like offering up constant advice when someone doesn't ask for it can be a little tricky.
Oh yeah.
But like if someone comes to you, like if I came to you and was like, hey, like I really want to do this thing, like, like give me all the pointers, you know?
I'm going to support you and be like, hell yeah, you're doing this.
Yeah.
But like, we're going to the moon. Yeah. We're going to the moon. We're going to the moon with this. But I think it's really important too. And then I think it's also very interesting. I've had friends too where like they've asked for my advice and then get upset when I give them the advice that's given. I'm like, I'm damned if I do. I'm damned if I don't. I don't know how to respond in that situation. I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry. Like, I won't give you advice anymore. Like, because I've had friends that like have literally ripped my head off when I was like, oh, I think like this is like how I would handle. Like, if it was me in this situation, because I never say like this is what you need to do. I'm always like, if it was me in this situation and I'm in it, this is how I'd handle it, and this is what I think would be best.
Yeah, you can't ask for advice and then be upset that it's not what you want to hear. If that's the case, you need to say like, tell me what I want to hear.
Yeah. And I feel like that's definitely like a toxic trait.
Yes.
And it can cause problems and issues, especially if it's not, and because I've had it in friendships and I've seen the destruction that it's done to like friendships that I've had, and it's unfortunate. But again, like when your friend has a toxic trait, like how do you handle that? How do you manage that? Like, do you say something, or do you just keep moving along with your day, or do you just like kind of cut off the snake's head while it's there?
Well, I think it's tricky because we all have toxic traits.
Yes.
And I like self-awareness is huge. It's the sexiest thing ever. Like it literally, like we all like, oh, I love a good self-aware king or queen. But I think that it's not something like if someone does something one or two times, maybe you don't like jump down their throats. I think it's all in the communication and the delivery.
I agree.
Because they need to be in the right headspace to hear it, and also understand that in having that conversation, like they may need time.
Yeah.
Or even like if someone's making a mistake.
Yeah. But I feel like if it's a toxic trait and it's doing something that like maybe it's disrupting your peace, or it's making you feel bad about yourself, and you're leaving the situation and like the friendship or whatever hangout that you're doing like in a negative energy or in a negative space, like that's not okay for you. And I feel like those are like, and it could be like maybe your friend's going through something and you don't know about it. Mm-hmm. So I feel like maybe talking to your friend at the time and being like, hey, like you said, like I've had friends where like they've said something to me and I'm like, that's not okay to say to me, like to say that somebody's only my friend for a certain reason, like they're using me, and like that's not the truth at all to the friendship or the landscape of that person's friendship because they don't know the friendship that well. Like that's not okay. And that's when I'm like, no, like I don't want you to say that about me because that's not okay. Like that doesn't make me feel good as a person, because now you're saying that people are only using me as like,
well, they don't see your value.
Yeah. You're just saying people are only friends with me because of like who I am, or like just to make somebody mad. Like that's not okay. And so maybe, and I'm always the type of person that like, I don't know what I always say. It's like, I say it in different ways, but like if it's something that somebody does to hurt my feelings, I either leave it alone and I just kind of stop talking and I shut down, or, and that's like one of my toxic traits is that I'll just shut down, or I'll be like, I don't know what's going on. Like, I don't know if something's wrong or I did something wrong, or if like you're upset with me for some reason, but like what you said or what you're doing hurts me. And I don't know what to do, but like, it's not okay. And like, I don't feel okay having to deal with that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it's important too, like when you're telling someone that something, like regardless, a difficult conversation, they're messing up, they have a toxic trait. I think a really important aspect of that is not attacking them.
Yeah.
Because automatically, like it already feels like an attack, even if it's delivered in the kindest, nicest way. So I think it's important to not be like you, like you, it's like, hey, I don't know if this is what you meant by that.
Yeah.
But it really hurt me, and I understand like maybe you didn't mean to, but I want you to know that it did.
Yeah.
And because I like in the past have had experiences where like I never in my life am setting out to hurt someone intentionally. So if someone comes to me and is like, hey, this hurt me, like first of all, I want to know about it. So I want to do the same thing to other people. But to be like, hey, listen, not mad at you. Like, but this hurt. And like, I don't know what your intention was. And then how they respond to that kind of dictates like where I go from there. I've had friendships where like
it gets solved. And then it gets fizzled.
Sometimes it doesn't. And it's okay. Like, but getting it off of your chest is really important.
I think so too.
And setting your boundary.
Oh yeah, 1,000%.
And I think that where a toxic trait like really comes into play is like if they're doing a toxic trait that's affecting them, I'm a little slower to call it out.
Yeah. When would you cut that friendship off?
I think if I brought awareness to the situation, like, okay, I want to be really vague here, but like I had a friend, probably, I think it was like late last year, earlier this year, that I found out they were lying to me about something that like they knew that I wouldn't, like they were like, you're not going to agree with this. So they completely hid it. And so I just like texted one night and was like, hey, what are you doing right now? Because I knew what they were doing. And the next morning, like I called.
It's making my anxiety high.
And we had a conversation and I was like, listen, I love you and I'm not mad at you, but you're better than this. And like, this isn't just about you anymore. You're affecting other people and hurting other people. And like, you've had my back in situations where someone did this to me. Yeah. So like, I love you. However, if this doesn't change, I'm going to have to take a step back. So it's like, if it's only hurting them, it's one thing where I will try, I'll probably stick around longer, give more chances. If it's hurting other people or something that morally I just can't, like, and if I bring it to their awareness and they still don't make a change, I'm cutting it off. Yeah. And I'll tell them, I'll have the conversation of like, listen, I told you, and like, I can't support you on this.
No, I agree. And like, if I was ever doing anything wrong, and I luckily, I feel like I have such healthy friendships right now around me that if it's ever something's going wrong on either side, like we're close enough that like we have communication that is very healthy and we can find a solution and we're able to work through the situations. And luckily, like a lot of my friends and my groups of friends, we don't have drama. Like I've really worked on.
Bless up.
Thank you. I've really, knock on wood. I've really worked on like having just healthy people around me and people that truthfully make me a better person. I make them a better person. Like we are all working together to be good. And so I thank God every day that I'm in the place that I am with like the people that are around me, but definitely have gone through toxic traits for sure.
Yeah. And it's always tricky because I try to remind myself, like, I think it's really easy to be judgy. Yeah. And like, oh my gosh, like they do this or they do that. And I think having a level of acceptance for, number one, understanding maybe where that stems from. Like maybe there's like a childhood trauma or like I know that some of my coping mechanisms aren't healthy, but that's me being self-aware. So something that I like to do too in my own toxic traits and being self-aware is like if I notice that I'm doing something that's like, I'm like, oh, this isn't fair to that person. Like I'm someone that when I'm stressed out or like struggling, I shut down. Like I'm not answering texts. I'm not like, I'm completely shut down. And what I unintentionally do is push people away. And so what I recently learned, because I was like, you know what, this is a me thing. And I never want someone to feel like, oh, like I wasn't good enough. Like she just completely shut me out. So I'll just be like, listen, like this has nothing to do with you. I'm struggling. I shut down. And like, I still need time. Yeah. So like just putting it all out there and being like, this has nothing to do with you. I love you. I understand if like you don't want to be friends with me. Yeah. But I just want you to know that this has nothing to do with you. It's a me thing. Yeah. And like when I'm ready, I'll come back around. If that's not okay with you, I completely understand.
I love that.
It's just, I don't know.
Very self-aware girl.
I just try because I know that on the other end of that, even though I do it myself, I'd still be like, what did I do?
Yeah. No, I know. I feel like I shut down, but I'm also the type of person that even if I'm shut down and I'm like losing my mind, I still do everything for everybody else.
It's so strange, isn't it?
It's very strange. We're heading into like a long time for this podcast. Okay. You want to go into questions?
Yes. The good news is I don't think there's a crazy.
Oh, great. That's fine. It's fine. We'll answer a few. We had a lot more topics that we wanted to talk about that we got to half of our list. Because we went on a whole thing about the beginning of this podcast about everything that I'm dealing with, you've been dealing with.
Yeah.
So we'll finish that episode next week. It's going to be a really good one.
Yes. And honestly, I think that conversation at the beginning.
I think so too. It needed to happen.
It just happened.
But we have questions. We haven't been asking a bunch or answering a bunch recently. So this is for you gal pals. We don't have to hit all of them, but we can do some of them.
I'll start with, okay, this is I can't get pregnant because I'm too thin and have because of it. I don't know what that is.
HA? I don't know what HA is.
It says, I am normal weight by BMI. I do not want to gain weight, but then I have to do IVF to have a baby. I immediately will say BMI is absolute bullshit. The BMI scale, I wouldn't, like, I know that it's like the standard, but BMI actually was created because I want to say that the guy, I forget his name, but it was like a scientist measuring like obesity in one city, and it was white men. Like, it wasn't even created for like the general population. And it got into like big pharma and like health, and so it's really, really inaccurate.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure like I did BMI and like mine was like, it says something crazy, and I was like, I don't even listen to it anymore.
Well, I had one of my clients was like, I went to the doctor and they told me I was morbidly obese, and she's not.
I was like, I've gotten that.
I literally was like, never go to that doctor again. He's fired.
He's fired. And so she doesn't want to gain weight. Is what
she's struggling with gaining weight.
I relate. Like we've talked about it. I'm terrified of gaining weight. It's definitely going to be something I have to struggle with. Obviously, when I want to have kids, and I'm going to have to deal with that in a few years when that time comes for me. And it is a lot, and it's a little stressful, but like I also have to think of like how great it's going to be as a mother, and I will do anything to obviously protect my child. Mm-hmm. So I think about that too, but don't stress yourself out over it. Because if you're like me, and I stress myself out a lot, when I stress myself out, it makes things harder for me, and I can't lose weight, so it causes more issues. Mm-hmm. Or I lose too much weight, and it causes issues. And so try not to stress yourself out over it. Take your time. Like, it's meant to happen. It's going to happen. It's all in God's timing and plan. And, you know, I pray for y'all, and I hope that the best works out and that it will work out. And, you know, if the case comes where you have to do IVF, then I understand some people are uncomfortable with that, but that way that you're going to be healthy, the baby's going to be healthy. I think that's important.
Well, and here's the thing, like, weight can be lost.
Yeah.
I think that gaining healthy weight, and if nothing else, like, your hormones will be healthier, you'll feel better. I know it's so scary, so I'm not going to sit here and say.
Yeah.
I don't know a ton about like IVF or really any of this, but I will say, like, the end goal of like having your sweet little baby, I promise it'll be worth it.
Yeah. I agree.
Oh boy. I need advice. I've been talking to this guy who lives across the border in the U.S. for about a month now. Things seem to be going well, and we made plans to see each other this weekend. I was with him last weekend. We had such a good time. That was spontaneous first meeting trip since we met on Tinder, LOL. Anyways, we originally made plans to get together on his weekend off this weekend, and I hadn't heard from him since Tuesday night when I reached out to him that evening. It's now Friday. So this morning I messaged him again asking if we were still on for this weekend, and he gave me this weird answer of like, I can't commit. I might be seeing my sister and nephew I haven't seen in a while. Sorry for being so distant, with no explanation to why. Then proceeded to tell me that he still wants to see me, blah, blah, blah. My issue is that we planned on spending the weekend together, and it's a 3-hour drive for me. So I'm stuck with a feeling of sadness, but also annoyed that he didn't communicate with me sooner. I'm too old to be wasting my time with men that don't know how to send a simple text and keep me in the loop. It is very early on, but I'm a Scorpio, and I kind of keep my eggs in one basket at a time, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
I just said that.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, the thing is, if it's not worth you driving 3 hours to do, then it's not worth it. Like, make plans with your friends, do things for you. You know, if it's happening now, it's probably going to continuously happen later in the relationship. And this is just me assuming that this is what's happening and just going off of and speculating off of what you said to us. But if that was me and a guy, again, if that was me and a guy was doing that to me, it wouldn't be worth my time. because if we made plans, like plans are important to me. I want friends that like commit to me. I mean, I get things come up and sometimes plans change and that's okay. But like, he shouldn't have just kind of like waited.
Brushed it
I didn't want to
off.
say ghost because it wasn't ghosting you. And I hate using, oh, I ghosted. But he shouldn't have just brushed it off so easily. And if it did matter, he would have communicated. And I'm a big believer in if he wanted to, he would.
Mm-hmm.
A big believer in it.
It just seems like complicated already, and it shouldn't be.
It shouldn't be complicated. It should be easy. It should be effortless. And not that it's always going to be easy and effortless, but these beginning stages should be easy.
Agree. Sorry, I was seeing.
You're fine.
This one, just advice on friendship breakups.
We have a whole episode about it.
We do. I will say my heart is with you. It is the worst experience ever. And Heidi put it best. I think she said last week, like, some people are in your life for a reason and a season. Yeah, I think that's like, it's okay to accept it for what it once was and understand that it's not that anymore. And it doesn't make it hurt any less, but there's better around the corner. I've been through 2 horrible friendship breakups and I got Tay out of it.
Same. And I got Sid out of it. Honestly, it's one of those things where it sucks. And I sometimes think that friendship bracelet.
Who's that? I think Max just walked by. Who the heck was that?
I don't know who that was. Somebody just walked in. I think friendship breakups can be just as. I'm sorry.
Are we in danger?
I don't know what just happened. What did he do?
I couldn't even see him. I just knew it wasn't Max or Ryan.
No, that was not Max or Ryan. Friendship breakups can be harder than actual breakups because your friends are the people that you go to when you have bad times with your boyfriends or your girlfriends or whatever it is. And it's like losing family at sometimes. And, you know, it's really sad and it's really hard, but you have to remember you're learning something out of it and you do have to appreciate it for what it once was, but just know that it's going to be okay.
I also think, one more thing, sorry. I think that using it as like a way to grow. So for example, like my friendship breakups sucked and they hurt, but I also, as much as it's easy to point fingers and be like, well, they did this and they did this. And, you know, sure, they did. But what could you like do to grow?
Yeah. You can
And
also
be better,
be a better
yeah.
friend. Yeah.
Nobody's perfect.
I gotta work it.
How to spend time with your partner of 2.5 years when they're very busy, working 3 jobs, 7 days a week, and needs all evening to rest to reset for the next day.
You just have to make time.
I would schedule it.
Yeah. I mean, my relationship now, I'm very fortunate that Max controls his schedule, but I've been in past relationships where the schedule is not easy. It is really hard. It's grueling. Like their time is not your main. I bet this is Max. No, it's not. It's not Max. I was thinking he was going to explain what just happened. Your main time and your importance is like their main time. Sorry, guys, I'm zoned out on that one.
We're frightened.
My phone is blowing up. Their main time and their main focus is not you. Their job was their main focus. And I fully knew that going into the relationship. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to be the main priority. Like your priority needs to be your job. I get it. I understand that. I want it to be that way. I built a monster, I know. But we just made sure we scheduled in that time. Like whether it's an hour to FaceTime each other, whether it's like us just watching 30 minutes of a show or being able to spend that time together, you just make that time. Like you have to put it in your schedule. And, you know, I get that it's hard and like the life that you live is a lot when you're working constantly, but you have to prioritize that time together on both ends.
Mm-hmm. It's hard. I mean,
It's stressful.
and you also like, it shouldn't only fall on
One side.
like one side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Last one. Mostly because I'm panicked.
Don't be panicked. There's nothing wrong. If it was bad, Max would have texted us.
Okay.
You're fine. So it doesn't have to be the last one.
This is a good one though.
Okay.
Hi, loves. I would love advice on this. I have a friend I met through my cousin and we instantly hit it off. We've been best friends for a year now. Unfortunately, we went out as a group with our other friends recently and her boyfriend grabbed my butt while leaving the bar. Nobody saw and I never said anything. They've been together for 5+ years and she loves him to death and I feel like she's blinded by love. I feel like he's also holding her back in life and is just keeping her around for comfortability. because he still hasn't proposed. What are y'all's thoughts? Should I tell her? I'm scared it would ruin the friendship and she won't believe me and we'll stay with him. Love the podcast. Love y'all. Love you. I have so many thoughts because ew. Let's dissect. First of all, I think that we should separate, just because I'm defensive of this, him not proposing and keeping her around, because like Ryan and I have been together for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think that every couple is different. So being like, oh, like if you wanted to propose, you would have sooner. I think that's different because people move at their own paces. However, him touching your butt is different.
Oh.
And I think you absolutely should tell her. Because the truth always comes out.
Yeah, it does.
And he will manipulate and flip it on you.
But the thing is, you have to be prepared, because there are some people that if she is blinded by love, she may not believe you, and that can cause issues in your friendship. And you just have to stand true in your beliefs and what happened. And
I personally would even though it would devastate me, and
I would want to know.
I would obviously talk to Ryan. Like if something like this happened to me, like I would talk to him. I'm not saying that like I'd immediately be like, I don't believe you, but I would rather my friend tell me. I would rather know.
Yeah,
even if it freaking sucks, and like even if she I'm not saying you'll lose a friend, but I think that she will in time have a lot more respect and love for you for telling her, even if it takes her time.
And yeah,
that's tough.
So sticky. My mouth literally hit the floor. The girl was too stunned. I was like,
I read it before, so I was like, I'm like reading it and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a friendship breakup, and I was like, huh?
No.
Oh man, yeah, what a piece of crap.
Ew.
He's done.
Hate him.
Yeah, I hate him already.
Cancel him. We don't even know him. Cancel him.
He's canceled. Okay. Currently going through a separation from my husband. We've been together a total of 12 years and have been struggling the last 2 years. We've been seeing a counselor, but our situation seems to progressively get worse. He called me before work yesterday and said he wanted to separate. I was a mess and panicking on what to do about my living situation. I luckily have an amazing support system and was able to find a place the same day, but I had to leave my dogs with him. And now I'm going through a wave of emotions. I feel like someone has died. Any advice on how to navigate this time? There are moments when I want to call him and just run back to him, but I know we weren't for the longest time. It's just my whole life has unexpectedly changed in less than 24 hours.
I've dealt with this.
Me too.
Obviously not marriage and not for that long of time. That's insane. I'm so sorry. And the pain you're probably going through is a lot. And especially the dogs. I'm so sorry.
Well, it's like your entire life.
Your whole life. Yeah. I mean, that's like with Miss Texas and the breakup I had. Like I gave up my title and broke up with the boy I was dating all in one fatal swoop. So it was hard. And I was like, what's next? What is my life like? And it's really, really a very confusing and challenging time, because you're like, you want to go back to what you know, and especially for that long, it's all you know, and like that's what you're used to, and that's your security, and that's your safe blanket. But when I tell you to sit in the uncomfortable moments and be okay with the uncomfortable moments, it's going to take time, but that's really the only way you get through it. And like knowing that it wasn't meant for you and you were meant for more, and like you weren't happy. That's not okay. There was something that I had listened to, and I was going to talk about it in like some of the other topics we were going to chat about. But there is a study that Harvard did called like the Harvard Life Study. And it shows the correlation of relationships and happiness and how it corresponds with your health. And it shows that the people that have lived the longest and the healthiest lived the healthiest lives have the strongest relationships and foundations with people around them, and are like more around have more people around them that they have actually genuinely good relationships with. And this study is an 86-year-long study. And so I found it very interesting that like your relationships have like a very strong foundation of how you will be later in life and how your health is going to be later in life.
Well, stress is such a big
thing.
That's
a big
so
component.
interesting.
So I think you have to think about yourself and your happiness and what's important to you. And like, yes, this sucks because you're losing a whole part of your life. You're losing a whole chapter in your life, but you have to know that so many better things are going to come. So many great things are going to come. I think about that all the time of like, if I didn't break up with him and I didn't do all these things that I did, like I wouldn't be with Max. I wouldn't be the happiest I've ever been. I wouldn't be in this good place. I wouldn't be in this healthy relationship and in this like good spot in my life right now. And I thank God every day that I went through it. And I sat with myself in the uncomfortable moments, and I sat with myself in that breakup. And I was like, I'm losing the person that I'm closest to, who I have given my life to, and it's ending. It's all ending so quickly. And I thank God that I went through that, because I learned a lot about myself and what I can do and who I am and what makes me happy and the things that I love. And I focused in on that, and I really worked on my relationship with myself, and that put me in the spot to have the healthiest and best relationship now.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest key is, number one, like, you're entitled to have a wave of emotions, and you're entitled to have, like, I've been through this, and it's like some days you wake up and you're great, and some days you wake up and you're not. But like leaning into like figuring out who you are now. I mean, 12 years is a long time. Like, rediscover so many things and lean on the people that you have and that love you. That makes me really sad.
It does. But
Also,
you're gonna
like,
get through it. What were you
you're
saying?
allowed to fight for your dogs.
Oh, you take those dogs.
I'm taking the dog, dumbass.
Taking the dog, dumbass.
Watch a lot of rom-coms. Eat a lot. Yeah, just date yourself.
Date yourself, literally. Date yourself.
And
do things for yourself.
Go to therapy if you need it. There's no shame in that at all. I learned so many coping skills in therapy during something like this.
Yeah.
Okay, this is actually the last one. My fiance and I are having a 40-person destination wedding in Mexico. I have 8 aunts and only 2 are invited. One of the aunts has a boyfriend that no one likes, and that he clearly doesn't care for us. Misses holidays, gatherings, birthdays, etc. They've been dating 2 years. I've seen him twice. Do you think it's okay to not invite him / not give my aunt a +1?
Yes.
I think it's absolutely okay. It is your wedding. I've said that. I'm literally going to like tape it to my forehead for Taylor.
It's your wedding.
It's your wedding.
Facts.
It's also a small wedding, so it's kind of like a good out to be like.
Yeah, you're like, it's a very small wedding. Like, this is our thing. Like, I'm sorry. I don't want him there.
The vibes are. You also only met him twice. Like,
Yeah. I said what I said, and I stand by it. This is your wedding.
stand on business.
I stand on it.
10 toes down. I don't even.
What she said.
No, but seriously, it's your, like, you don't want to look back at your wedding and be like, oh.
Facts, no printer.
Facts.
All right, guys. We have to call this one. This one was a very fun episode. It was an interesting episode.
We covered so many things.
We were all over the board tonight, you guys.
I kind of enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it too. I had a lot to get off my chest. I'm glad y'all were here for it. I'll let you know the updates if there is any updates from it. But yeah.
Ring the bell.
Oh, yeah. Thank you guys so much for listening to this. I'm so sorry, y'all. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode. We love you guys. And thank you guys for so much love in the last episode with Heidi. And if you guys haven't seen our previous episodes, go check them out. Make sure you guys are following us on Instagram. They are all going to be tagged down below. Make sure you are subscribed to our channel. Ring the bell for notifications. You guys don't want to miss an episode. And if you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, make sure you guys give us 5 stars or 4 stars or whatever it is. We love you guys. Thank you guys so much for coming in on this episode with us, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
You better talk nice to me. I'm in your head. I invest. That's a short-term fee. Got it locked. I'm the best. Well, at least that's what I think. Give me props when I rap. If you want, at least that's what I think. Give me props when I rap. If you want.